There are so many movies on Amazon Prime Video, and half the time you end up watching the same thing over and over again. Does that sound like you? Well, look no further, because I'm Greg, and here at the Binge List, we make recommendations for TV shows and movies that you can access from the comfort of your own home. I'm going to count down 11 of the best movies that are available on Prime Video that you can start streaming immediately, and I rank them based on how much I personally enjoyed them. And I'm going to talk about psychological thrillers, action, sci-fi, time travel, and even a group of friends that I grew up watching make movies. So stop mindlessly scrolling, stop wasting your time, and let's jump in and check out this list.
Little dude,
Can me and Miles have a play date today?
do you drink? Does your kid drink? Maybe? I mean, it's never too early to start teaching
I
them.
think you're joking, but great.
My first pick is an Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively led film with A Simple Favor, where Stephanie, a single mom running a parenting blog, befriends Emily, a glamorous and mysterious woman whose husband is this struggling author. When Emily mysteriously disappears after asking Stephanie for a simple favor, Stephanie becomes obsessed with finding her friend, uncovering a web of lies, secrets, and hidden lives. And as she delves deeper, Stephanie's own life begins to unravel, blurring the lines between what's the truth and what's deceit. This is an enjoyable film that has some cool, unpredictable twists and turns that really keep you guessing and engaged throughout the narrative. Anna Kendrick plays this role perfectly as this gullible, trusting housewife, in contrast to Blake Lively as this mysteriously charming, beautiful woman. This movie has a surprising amount of humor in it. I found myself laughing a lot more during this movie than I thought I would going into it, and it's not slapstick or overly silly things, but more witty dialogue, clever situations, and this dark edge. And I have to mention the cinematography and set design. It has a very sleek and stylish look that adds to this film's lore. I did rank this one here because some of the plot elements are just way too over the top for me, and the ending is nothing to write home about, but A Simple Favor is a fun and well acted dark comedy to check out.
Hello, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Jackass. 3, 2, 1.
I honestly don't know if there is another franchise that is more influential on my childhood than the Jackass franchise, and that's why my number 2 pick on this list is Jackass Forever. Johnny Knoxville and the original Jackass crew are back for another round of outrageous stunts, pranks, and gags. Joined by newer faces, they push the boundaries of this absurdity and pain tolerance, to be honest, in their signature blend of comedy and chaos. From battling giant bulls and alligators to enduring electric shocks, the film is honestly so much fun. It's a wild ride filled with laughter, winces, and plenty of cringeworthy moments. Whether you met Johnny Knoxville or his crew back in skate videos, the MTV show, or the movies, this just hits the nostalgia funny bone. There are tons of laughs and normal jackassery in this, but it was awesome to see the old crew back together, reminiscing about classic stunts and watching them appreciate the next generation's commitment to this wild humor. These fresh faces fit right into the group and bring a whole new energy to the group and a ton of willingness to face new and more outrageous challenges. And this movie is primarily comedic, obviously, but this film is way more emotional than any of the other Jackass content that you've seen before. This offers a lot of genuine moments of friendships between the guys, highlighting the lifelong bonds between these castmates, and then reminiscing about lost members as well. I will be honest, there are some parts, even for a lifelong fan like me, that were a little bit way over the top and even gross at times, but I've come to expect that. So if you're a diehard Jackass fan or simply curious about the outrageous spectacle, Jackass Forever delivers a high-octane blend of humor and nostalgia. This is a movie that should probably be a bit higher on this list, but there are just honestly so many good movies to go over. But let's talk about my third pick, and that's The Tomorrow War. In this movie, Chris Pratt plays Dan Forrester, a former Green Beret and current biology teacher who is drafted into a global war against a deadly alien species called the White Spikes. These creatures arrived in 2048 and devastated humanity within 3 years. In a desperate attempt to rewrite the future, soldiers are sent back in time from 2051 to recruit reinforcements, including an unprepared Dan. Thrust into a future ravaged by war, Dan must fight for survival and find a way to defeat the White Spikes. At face value, this is an action-packed sci-fi film, and it does that well, delivering spectacular battle sequences and thrilling alien encounters with these animalistic monsters. But at its core, I thought this movie was pretty emotionally driven. As a father, some parts definitely hit you as they explore themes of family and sacrifice. Pratt brings that to life on screen too, with his charisma and his vulnerability as he portrays Dan. And those of you that watch my videos know I love unique time travel stories, and this concept of fighting a war by traveling actually into the future is unique and offers its own types of twists. If you enjoy action-packed sci-fi with a dash of emotion or just love time travel like me, The Tomorrow War might be worth your time.
So, I made my way to the apartment, and that's when I found you and your stapler gun.
Stop talking! You're a hallucination!
You're a hallucination.
Number 4 is something that I talked about in a much less viewed video, which you can check out here, but I'm also going to share it in this video because it's my favorite video game franchise of all time, and that's Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Like Jackass, this one is extremely nostalgic for me. I am to this day a hardcore fan of the Pokemon games. I still personally play them and play them with my kids now. In Detective Pikachu, Tim, a young man estranged from his detective father, inherits a talking Pikachu, who convinces him to uncover the truth behind his father's disappearance. So Tim and Pikachu team up in Rhyme City, facing off against rogue Pokemon, suspicious trainers, and this dangerous conspiracy. There is a lot of Pokemon nostalgia and fan service in this movie for those of you that are hardcore fans. It felt like the CGI depictions of these Pokemon were exactly what I envisioned these characters to look like in the real world. Not all of them are so cuddly like the game would make them out to be. Justice Smith and Reynolds are this weirdly hilarious duo. Reynolds bringing his standard witty and sarcastic voice acting to Pikachu that brings him to life in the most hilarious and charismatic way. Smith as the somewhat serious character in this crazy world allows Reynolds to add a bunch of one-liners and overall just great comedic timing. The only reason I have this movie so low on this list, and I kind of think of it as good and not great, is that the story itself is pretty straightforward. You realize pretty early on what's going on, including the twist, but it's directed at kids, so it's simple so they can understand. If you're looking for a lighthearted and entertaining adventure with a truckload of nostalgia, Pokemon Detective Pikachu is worth a watch. It's great for lifelong fans and newcomers to the game.
I spent the last 7 years of my life living out my wildest dreams. Bianca, Rocky, my dad. This was built on their shoulders.
My 5th recommendation on this list is Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut, and that's Creed 3, where we catch up with Adonis Creed, now a retired boxing champion and loving family man who enjoys a comfortable life. But his past resurfaces when Dame Anderson, a childhood friend and former boxing prodigy, is released from prison. Dame demands a shot at the ring, feeling like he has unfinished business and this desire to prove himself. Adonis must confront his legacy, his family, and this dangerous opponent in a fight that pushes him to his limits. The acting in this film is great. You could tell the actors were all in on their preparation and the performances. So on top of directing this film, Michael B. Jordan leads the way, with Tessa Thompson supporting him, who's in this a lot less than some of the others, but still brings a lot of heart to the film. And then Jonathan Majors' performance. Majors delivers a captivating and sympathetic portrayal of Dame, creating this compelling rival for Adonis that at times you even find yourself rooting for. There are a ton of cool callbacks to the Rocky franchise for diehard fans, and it has a familiar feel that uses the themes that people love from the franchise, like family dynamics, second chances, and the weight of past choices. It wouldn't be a Rocky/Creed movie without some epic fight scenes, and you can tell they put a lot into the fight choreography, and the camera work increases the intensity and realism of the fights, bringing you right into the action sequences. Not having Rocky Balboa in this movie seemed like a bit of an odd choice because of how important he is to the franchise itself and then the character Adonis, but Creed 3 might be the passing of the torch with Stallone aging, but even without Stallone as Balboa, it still offers thrilling boxing action, complex themes, and excellent acting in this movie.
To demonstrate how nature's laws may be bent, tonight I give you Eisenhower.
My 6th pick on the list is The Illusionist, where in the late 19th century Vienna, we meet Eisenheim, this gifted magician and illusionist, who returns after years abroad to find his childhood sweetheart Sophie now engaged to the powerful crown prince. Using his captivating illusions, Eisenheim challenges the prince's authority and reignites his forbidden love with Sophie. As their connection intensifies, their actions draw the attention of the suspicious chief inspector, who becomes absolutely obsessed with uncovering the secrets behind Eisenheim's magic. This movie has this really dark and ominous feel throughout the entirety of it, but it's done in a very cool way with its historic costumes, lighting, set designs, and cinematography that just brings you or transports you into this world. And the whole movie feels like it's part of Eisenheim's show or his magic tricks. You are not sure what's going on all the time and not sure how everything's happening, but you're captivated and you're honestly on the edge of your seat. The magic in this is top notch and you really get a peek behind the curtain seeing how some of this is done, and it's truly fascinating to me. The story has a lot to offer with a blend of romance, mystery, and this A-list cast, with Edward Norton leading the way as the mesmerizing Eisenheim, along with Paul Giamatti, Jessica Biel, and Rufus Sewell, who all deliver strong performances as well. The Illusionist is a passionate love triangle where blurred lines between magic and reality intertwine in this visually stunning and suspenseful tale.
Until a month ago, you were a complete failure. And then somehow you became the biggest star in the world. As if by magic.
So there's a ton of nostalgia on today's list, from Jackass to Pokemon, and my 7th pick has a ton of nostalgia as well, and it's not another TV show or a movie bringing us back, but it's actually me sitting down and listening to music in the car with my parents, and that's the movie Yesterday. Jack, a struggling musician, wakes up after a global blackout to discover that the Beatles never existed. He's the only one who remembers their music, and he uses this unique knowledge to become a massive pop star, performing Beatles songs as his own. However, as fame and fortune come his way, Jack grapples with the consequences of his actions and his success. Yesterday is a truly heartwarming film with themes of appreciation, love, and following your dreams built into every corner of the narrative. If you do not already think this about a Beatles-themed movie, it has a great soundtrack, filled with over 20 of the Beatles' most memorable songs, and their music remains timeless, which adds another level to the emotion of the story. Beyond Himesh Patel and Lily James' charming and relatable portrayals of Jack and Ellie, the main characters, but these two are great with good chemistry and were able to balance the movie's lightheartedness and the drama. If you take this movie for what it is, a feel-good film with a great soundtrack and a message about cherishing what we have, then you're sure to enjoy Yesterday.
So you just starting your day, or did you just get off?
They call, I go, you know.
So what is it you do?
I'm a driver.
My number 8 pick is another movie with an outstanding soundtrack, and that's Baby Driver, where the character named Baby, not a real baby, is a talented getaway driver who works for a powerful crime boss. Baby relies on music to drown out the constant ringing in his head and uses it to perfectly synchronize his driving with each heist. He dreams of escaping his criminal life and starting fresh. However, when Doc forces Baby into a high-stakes job with this violent crew, his plans for a clean getaway quickly crumble. With lives on the line and the police closing in, Baby must use his driving skills to outrun danger and fight for his freedom. This movie honestly felt to me like someone said, man, I love jamming to music in my car. How can I make this into a great movie? Bam, Baby was born. With tons of thrilling car chases that feel super intense and extremely creative, the carefully curated soundtrack seemingly blends right into the action with various genres, and then the soundtrack, for numerous reasons, becomes as integral to the film's narrative as some of the characters. Ansel Elgort is a sneaky great actor. You don't realize how many great roles he's done, but he delivers a captivating performance as Baby. And I read that he opted to train and perform a ton of the stunts in this movie just to add to the realism. I do think there's a lot to love about this movie, hence it being on this list, but the story is kind of more style than substance in this film. But if you like high-octane experiences with impressive action sequences and a unique soundtrack, Baby Driver is the right move for you.
Hey guys, meet Ahmed, our new interpreter. Why you want this job?
I need the money.
Money isn't the reason he wants this job.
The Taliban killed his son.
Number 9 on the list is Guy Ritchie's film The Covenant. During the final stages of the US military withdrawal from Afghanistan, Sergeant John Kinley is gravely injured during an ambush. His Afghan interpreter Ahmed risks his own life to carry Kinsley across miles of treacherous terrain to safety. However, when Ahmed and his family are denied safe passage to America as promised, Kinley embarks on a dangerous mission back into the war zone to retrieve them before they are hunted down. This movie is an intense thriller that honestly has 2 really gripping stories linked due to the sense of duty and conviction of the 2 main characters. The first story is Ahmed, who is trying to save Jake, and then in the back half we see the second story where Jake tries to repay that favor. This provides you with a ton of suspenseful situations throughout, tense action sequences, and this emotional ride as you see the strong bond between the two main characters grow. Both Gyllenhaal and Salim were fully committed in their roles. They had nuanced portrayals capturing the pure desperation and the resilience of their characters. I will say that The Covenant doesn't provide as much humor as we see in most of Ritchie's films, but you can recognize his signature blend of action and humor here and there in this war drama. This film is not perfect, but very few films are. There's plenty to love though with The Covenant, from strong performances to intense action and suspense, certainly worth checking out.
Oxen on old watch. Did you even take a swing?
No.
Could have taken her, Dad.
Number 10 on the list is the movie Nobody, where we meet Hutch, the seemingly unremarkable and overlooked middle-aged family man who leads a monotonous life as an office worker. When two thieves break into his house and the hidden rage within him explodes, the incident awakens a long dormant side of Hutch, revealing a mysterious past riddled with violence and secret skills. He embarks on this brutal crusade against the Russian mob responsible for the home invasion, putting his family, his life, and his true identity at risk. Bob Odenkirk is a great actor. He's very funny, he's best known for his role in Better Call Saul, but he doesn't really scream action star. But in this film, he is an odd badass, delivering intense fight sequences and gun battles. His transformation from mild-mannered to ruthless is captivating. A super impressive performance from him as this unlikely action hero. And to add to the authenticity of the film, he trained for a ton of the stunts and performed a ton of his own stunts in this film as well. The action is front and center in this film, but they do use some dark humor to create this unique and engaging tone that keeps it from ever getting too dark, along with some very humorous situations that his character gets put into. The film Nobody is a fun and surprising action film with a great performance from Odenkirk. It's not high art, but it's a thrilling action film with a dark edge, well worth checking out on Prime Video.
Zach, you have a young boy with Down syndrome in the middle of nowhere.
All right, well, while you've been doing paperwork, we've been doing something called living. Oh, man!
Last but not least, and my favorite movie on this list, let's talk about The Peanut Butter Falcon, where Zach, a young man with Down syndrome, escapes from a state-run care facility to pursue his dream of becoming a professional wrestler. He befriends Tyler, this down-on-his-luck fisherman running from his own troubles. Together, they embark on a journey to a wrestling school in North Carolina, facing challenges and forging this unlikely bond along the way. This is another truly heartwarming story on this list, and this one definitely hits you in the feels in a lot of different ways. The story seamlessly blends humor and drama, creating a touching and uplifting experience through this entire film. Shia LaBeouf is great in this movie. He delivers a really emotional performance, helping drive the narrative, but Zach Gottsagen makes the movie awesome. For one, he delivers a super genuine performance, but even more so because he's really the reason this movie was made. The film was actually inspired by Zach, who plays Zach and has Down syndrome in real life. And these two work so well together. Their on-screen chemistry is awesome, and it's truly one of the heartwarming parts of the movie. Now, this film might not be perfect, but The Peanut Butter Falcon is a truly heartwarming story with very strong performances, a beautiful setting that, if given the chance, will probably win you over too. And that's going to do it for today's list, everybody. Take a second to like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us get our recommendations out to others looking for solid movies and TV shows, or check out one of our other videos here. But definitely let us know down in the comments which one of these movies you're going to go check out or you already love. Thanks again and have a great day.